Good morning, everybody. We have a good announcement, I think, a very productive announcement that we're proud to make today. Here's what our challenge was. In the last few years, the county, all counties, I think, but a lot of our communities in Cuyahoga County have been struggling financially. And the county has been a part of that, but individual cities have had a lot of difficult decisions to make, especially as local government funds have been cut, property valuations have declined. There are questions about how much money can be collected through municipal tax collection, and many of our cities, our individual cities, are really at their limit, because their ability to borrow funds to get needed projects, especially infrastructure projects, done is based on their property valuation. So you've had kind of a perfect storm of problems for these local communities. You've had local or state help through the local government fund declining, and their property valuations are declining, so the amount of money that they can borrow is declining. You've had all these things happening at the same time. Now, what has this resulted in? Well, we've got 59 different communities, cities in Cuyahoga County, and some of them have been repeatedly just asking us for assistance and just saying, we can't get basic projects done. And these aren't like-to-have projects, these are must-have projects. These are basic infrastructure projects. And if those projects are deferred, not only does that create conditions that are not helpful for economic growth, but it actually increases the eventual cost, because you can't do some of the preventative projects that you should do. So it's not like the bill goes away. The bill eventually must be paid, but the eventual bill that has to be paid is larger because the projects can't be done on a timely basis. Well, so what can the county do? Well, we've already put ourselves in a good financial position. The county has about an $800 million investment portfolio. We have a strong credit rating, which is AA+. We have a conservative investment policy, and that policy under current regulations permits us to invest up to $80 million in municipal bonds. This is a simple program. Basically, a lot of these communities are borrowing money at about 3.5 percentage points. If you look at what we're getting from our investments, we're only getting a little over 1%, which because of the drop in interest rates. That is not unusual, by the way, for either the state of Ohio or communities across the state or across the country, because we've compared it. So there's this gap there between what we're getting for our $800 million that we invest and the costs that these communities have to pay when they're borrowing money. And that's where the opportunity is. So our proposal is that we will take 10%, roughly, which is $80 million of our current investment portfolio, and we will make this available for these local communities who would like us basically to purchase debt. And then it actually funds itself because we get an interest return on it, but at the same time, it allows them to get projects done without affecting their bond rating or their bonding capacity, and the projects actually can get done. Now, what can they do with the money? Well, they're going to be able to pave more roads, they're going to be able to invest in parks, and in some cases, they're going to be able to refinance debt that they already have that will strengthen their balance sheet. The cities have the potential to save tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars as a result, and more importantly, because their borrowing costs are going down, but more importantly, projects that need to get done will get done. People will get hired, roads will be improved, communities will become stronger, and we can do that without affecting the county's bottom line. We have been in a dialogue with our cities and our townships, local communities about this program, so we're not springing this on them. We wanted to see if there was a real need for this program before we did the due diligence. So we've been having that discussion in the last few weeks, and I'm happy to report to you that there's been a very, very strong response. So there's $80 million of capacity that's out there right now, but that doesn't mean that $80 million will go out. We'll have to see as actual proposed projects come in. We'll have to decide which ones meet our criteria, which ones we think are a good investment, and that process will begin now. But we've had those discussions with both our mayors and our finance directors, and I can tell you they've been very very excited about the potential. This is exactly, I think, the kind of thing that people hoped that county government would be able to do. That county government isn't a drag on local communities. It can actually help communities when they're having tough times, not as a handout, but as a partner with them to make things happen in a fiscally responsible way. At this time, I want to recognize Ed Juris, who's our Regional Collaboration Director. We've been working with our whole team on this project. I want to recognize Mark Parks and the folks from our Treasurer's Office. They've been working on the financing end of it, but it's also, and Mark is available to take any questions on specifics of the way that the program is going to work financially. But I wanted Ed to just address a few things, because this is consistent, we think, with uniting the county and promoting our goal of regional collaboration, which is what Ed heads up. Ed, do you want to say a few words?
Again, it's Ed Juris. I'm the Director of Regional Collaboration for the county. I just wanted to add that this new suburban infrastructure program is part of a broader strategy to assist all the communities of Cuyahoga County that have been hit hard by the Great Recession. That recession led to a lowering of revenues to the communities, a lowering of property values. We had cuts in the local government fund, cuts in the estate tax. And this has really been, since the County Executive FitzGerald came into office, his strategy was, how can we help out these communities? How can we assist them in dealing with unprecedented pressures that they've had financially? So whether it's encouraging shared services that will bring about efficiencies, whether it's the Western Reserve Plan, which will expand county-provided services to provide these efficiencies, or if a new creative program such as this. These are all designed as part of a grand strategy to bring the communities to find efficiencies. And we're working with these communities on a daily basis, and I want to acknowledge that we've been working with our county councilmen. I see Council President Connolly and Councilman Greenspan here. The concern is throughout county government that we can be a creative force in helping them meet their needs. And infrastructure is a critical need. I had one mayor call me very early on and say, look, we're having trouble doing new things in terms of things that we've always done in terms of infrastructure and expansion. So I think this program is a creative step in a direction of assisting the communities throughout Cuyahoga County to do exactly that.
I just want to make one more comment, and if there's any questions, we'll do our best to answer. There have been a lot of press attention about the investments that we made in downtown, what we've done with our casino money, or the convention center and Global Center for Health Innovation next door here, or what we're doing at the East Bank of the Flats, or the new convention center hotel that I made an announcement with Mayor Jackson about the other day. All those things are important, and they're a big deal. You do have to have a thriving downtown. A thriving downtown, I think, helps every community in Cuyahoga County, because a downtown area is kind of the common area for every single community, and it helps make suburbs more viable. But we've always gotten this other question about, well, what can we do also to help inner ring suburbs and other suburbs, suburban communities that are having a tough time? And this is something that we can do. It's not the only thing we're doing, by the way. There's other things we're doing with providing more law enforcement services, more infrastructure services, more preventative maintenance services on the infrastructure side. Our $100 million fund has made a lot of investments in our local communities, but this is another thing that we're doing. I know it doesn't get as much attention maybe as some of the casino questions, but we're talking about actually a lot more money that we're putting in, potential again of $80 million under our current guidelines. That's far in excess of any annual amount that we're talking about from our casino fund. So this potentially is going to be a much more significant investment, and one that I think deserves a lot of attention as a result. Any questions? And by the way, the timeline on this, we are going to be reaching out to all of our suburban partners again this afternoon. Now that we're officially launching it, we've already had those kind of base level conversations, but now we're going to be officially offering the product to them this afternoon. We would hope that we can negotiate deals with them before the end of this year, and then they can start implementing it into their budgets in 2014, and hopefully actually getting bricks and mortar done in calendar year 2014. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it. Thanks, everybody.